Texas Republicans, they met at the state's biennial convention this weekend to propose platform changes and vote on measures, including President Biden's, quote, illegitimate presidency is what they like to call it, and maintaining their right to secede from the United States. Something you could probably imagine from people in Texas, but now it's on their platform. So Texas Republicans on the committee adopt a resolution that rejects Biden's victory in the 2020 election. Let's start with that one. This is what the text said. We reject the certified results of the 2020 presidential election, and we hold that acting President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. was not legitimately elected by the people of the United States. We strongly urge all Republicans to work to ensure election integrity and to show up to vote in November of 22. Bring your friends and family, volunteer for your local Republicans, and overwhelm any possible fraud. So even just start right there before we go to more about this. So the first thought is we're gonna turn down and say the election was invalid. But then you're still gonna say, hey, let's go out and vote in the next election. I thought the elections were invalid. What changed? You're supposed to go out and vote, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone else to come out and vote. But it's an illegitimate election only because it was Biden. Will it be illegitimate if Trump wins? I think we know the answer to that. Also at this convention, Ted Cruz told some attendees at this his thoughts on this as well.
And I'm here to tell you, brighter days are coming. We will take this country back. We will defend our liberty. We will defend the Constitution. And we will restore the greatest country in the history of the world. God bless you.
Why does Ted Cruz do that when he thinks that's hype? I need the answer now, Waz. Ted Cruz goes to NRA events. He goes to the RNC and does this. He goes to what's their big convention? Their crazy person's convention. CPAC. That's where he really does it, because that's when you're supposed to try to get yourself generating some energy for your president or your presidential runs. In this guy's case, or whatever it is this guys are running for. But it's always we got to do this and we got to do that. We got to do this. Like, why is that an exciting movement to do? What does that mean? Anyway,
I just want to know who they're taking the country back from. Like, who are these people that like own and run the country? Like, are you taking it back from yourself, Ted Cruz? You're a freaking United States senator. Like you're part of a two-party rule in this country. You guys wield a lot of power and influence. Who are you taking it back from?
Well, we know who they think, or at least they're convincing their supporters to take it back from. Those dirty immigrants and those minorities, because they take it over the whole world. Because that's what they want to tell everybody. You're the victim here. Oh, so part of that victimhood, in order to do that, maybe you have to separate yourself, or at least keep it on the platform that you want to separate yourself from the country. Here's more about that, because Republicans are also calling for the state legislature to pass a bill requiring a referendum at the 2023 election to determine whether Texas should reassert its status as an independent nation. Okay, the federal government has impaired our right of self-government. Therefore, federally mandated legislation that infringes upon the 10th Amendment rights of Texas should be ignored, opposed, refused, and nullified. Texas retains the right to secede from the United States, and the Texas legislature should be called upon to pass a referendum. Again, part of their platform. So these resolutions that they're talking about, they don't carry any real legal weight, of course, and Texas has no real chance of seceding. But this platform does dictate the Republican Party's policy priorities for future elections. So they have to kind of hang on to this whole thought process that they can do this. So some of these other notable policies are about gun control, LGBTQ rights, and some voting rights, which you won't be surprised by hearing this. Here's a few of those bullet points. There shall be no gun-free zones in Texas. Homosexuality is an abnormal lifestyle choice. We urge, this one is a kicker here. We urge that the Voting Rights Act of 1965, codified and updated in 1973, will be repealed and not reauthorized. Really weird, it's really weird, Roz, because every time I hear conservatives, specifically people like Ted Cruz, and other elected officials on the Republican side, they like to talk about how we need to harken back to the good old days. Hey, back when America was great, let's go back to the 60s. Let's go back to when times were much simpler. This is a Voting Rights Act that was codified in 1965. I mean, it was codified and updated in 1973. What about those good old days? What about us going back to those good things? No, it's only those good old things when it was division, hatred, which we still have a pretty significant amount of now, but we definitely want to make it mainstream again. That's the thought process. That's the Republican platform. Again, I asked this morning in my show. The things that these people say as just a regular American who's voting, this stuff attracts you to them. This makes you go, yes, let's go back to undoing things that make America what I assumed was a good country. Sounds like you're not looking for that anymore.
Yeah, I'm just always blown away by how much the people most affiliated with flag waving and patriotism and God bless America, how much they kind of hate the country as it is and as it actually exists today. They really hate it here, and it's weird. And this idea that you would be seceding from America again, that's anti-patriotic, that's anti-America. Like, you don't want to be part of the union anymore. That, to me, I find that to be ridiculous and kind of shocking from, again, the folks who claim to be the most pro-America, America first, America. They put America in damn near every single thing they name, but they hate this country as it actually exists. And it's quite sad because, at its best, this country can be pretty remarkable and amazing.
Well, exactly. As it changes, there's people who want to harken back to the horrible days, which are only good for them. There's the self-fulfilling things they want to go through. So that's the process, that's the thought here. And there's a platform to prove it. I mean, if people tell you who they are, it's about time to listen.